Morning, everyone. It's Pedro Burge here from Niners DNA. It is Monday morning in San Francisco, Monday afternoon in San Francisco, Tuesday morning here in Sydney. They've wrapped up day 10 of training camp, apparently a hot one, a long one, where the defensive side of the ball came out on top. Lots to talk about in regard to the quarterbacks. Again, let's stick to the reactions. And a couple of things that one thing in particular that Kyle said, that Brock Purdy is the real deal. He has never said that before about any of his quarterbacks. Grant Cohn picked up on it. We're going to go to a live recording of Grant Cohn and Larry Kruger talking about it. Going to hear from Jack Hammer on his argument with Ryan Hensley on dink and dunk, and hear a little bit from Ted Talks Ball from TedH, who I go live with on a Friday morning here, Thursday afternoon there, just on his opinion on who the better quarterback has been via him being there in the last 10 days of training camp. So, and he's been watching football for a long time, 45 years. So let's just go, first of all, look at the numbers, and we'll go to our man Guy Haberman, and let's hear what he has to say.
Brock Purdy, 9 of 18 on 37 reps. That's not a good percentage. Trey, 3 of 7, each with a pick. So 9 of 18, 3 of 7. Darnold, 5 of 8. Sam, 2 of 3. Yeah, I mean, those numbers do not look good. Those aren't good passing numbers at all. I don't think, let me re-examine here. I don't think Trey or Brock are properly represented by those numbers.
Now, let's just go to, I want to talk on that for a quick second. The thing is that, as we know with football, it's very nuanced in terms of, you can look at flat stat numbers and think that tells the whole story. We all know that doesn't tell the whole story. There are lots of different situations in which the person who is defending on the defensive side of training camp, there are the receivers that the quarterback has got. There is the temperature, the play call, so many variables that go into training camp that a lot of people are putting credence. Well, I won't say a lot of people are putting credence into the variables. What people are putting credence into is the stat lines. And I think that is a very, very, very large mistake to make, a big mistake to make, because of the variables I just spoke of, which is receivers that they have to work with, the defensive line, the person who was defending the receiver. Is it Ambry Thomas? Is it a person off the, is it a UDFA, an undrafted free agent that is defending? So just wanted to have a little bit of a comment on the numbers. And as you see from Guy and the way that he does things, I'll put his link into the description of this video in regard to the way that he has a very smart analogy. He uses the golf scoring system, which is par and birdie and bogey. And, bogey being not such a good throw, birdie being a great throw, par being a throw you're expected to make. But let's go to a comment that we'll just add Haberman back in there so I can get over to Granny Boy and Mr. Larry Kruger. These guys are just talking about, and look at Grant there. He's a very animated man. He's like a cartoon character. It's day 7 of camp, and the reporters were asking about Brock, and you can search for, I'll put that in the link. I'll put that link into the video description. They were talking about how Brock is not quite back to his normal self. And Kyle, being Kyle, loves to defend what he thinks is right because he has to be right. And he said that Brock is the real deal. And that is a big statement coming from a person like Kyle Shanahan. It is a big statement to describe a quarterback who was the 7th round pick last year. Again, not taking anything away from Brock. Love Brock. Brock's the best. But again, I'll always say I think Trey has more upside. But let's listen a little bit here to what Grant and Larry are saying about Brock being described as the real deal by Kyle Shanahan.
It's like the upper echelon of quarterbacks. And I'm not saying Brock can't be that, but he freaking better be for Kyle Shanahan's sake, because he said that on the record.
Yeah.
Crazy.
No, he believes in him. I mean, he believes in him. Now, of course, it is training camp, the beginning of the year, a lot of pressure on the 49ers. He knows that Brock's going to be a starting quarterback, so he wants to be all in, right?
It was day 7 of camp, for the record. Day 7. Yeah. Kyle's like, I've seen enough, real deal.
Grant will underline that.
Is it possible that he senses that there's a division in his room among the quarterbacks, that maybe there's some guys who believe that Darnold's better or Lance is better, and that he kind of wants to put that out right there for everybody? Hey, you know what? Brock's the real deal. Or maybe he believes it. Maybe he absolutely believes that Brock is the real deal. I mean, it's also like, how do you define that? I mean, how is the real deal defined?
What is the real deal?
I'll say this, though. I'll say this. One more thing. Everybody who talks about Brock Purdy, the skepticism is often rooted in Jimmy Garoppolo. Have you noticed that? It's like, well, Jimmy started fast. So if Brock started fast and Jimmy kind of...
So these are all really good themes amongst the fan base, amongst the beat writers, in regard to how Jimmy started in his first 5 career starts in 2017, just killed it, came back, was strangled by Shanahan, that's not bad, and didn't play as well. So what I want to go to now is a little rant that Jim, what's his name? Let's get back. His name is Jack Hammer, and let's share this tab instead. And he's going to go and talk about. There is a saying about some quarterbacks, and Grant might have come up with it, maybe not, but the dink and dunk quarterback, the game manager, the 2 to 15 yard pass quarterback that manages the game, gets the ball down the field, moves the chains, makes the other defensive side stay on the ground, stay on the field, get them tired, which I think is not a bad idea in terms of a game strategy. But there's another content creator who I really respect, Ryan G. Hensley, who is not a fan of the dink and dunk and knows that if you need an explosive play, you're not going to get that from a quarterback that can only throw in that manner. Let's hear what Jack Hammer has to say about that.
He got 90 yards of credit on 2 of them. So dink and dunk, this whole dink and dunk thing, just going to get on my soapbox for a minute. It is one of the dumbest discussions that I've seen around the 49ers this offseason. And part of the reason that I believe that is because if you look at the stats across the NFL, 85% on average, 85% of the quarterbacks in the NFL, on average, the quarterbacks across the NFL, get it right, Jack, across the NFL, on average, 85% of the throws that quarterbacks make in the NFL are 19 yards or shorter. That means that there's only 15% of all throws that take place in an NFL season, on average, go beyond 20 yards. And there's a reason for it, because when you look at the best quarterbacks in the league, guys like Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen and whatever quarterback you think is the best in the league,
Joe Burrow.
If you take a second and look at what their numbers are when they throw the ball more than 20 yards downfield, their completion percentage is going to be around 40. And that's not good.
So let's leave Jack there. I think that he makes a very good point. I guess what I am picking up from this argument between some of the beat writers, the content creators, the fan base, the dink and dunk versus the explosive player that Trey Lance could be, is just the fear that Brock Purdy is going to be the same as Jimmy Garoppolo. And Larry Krueger says something about that as well in regard to, everyone's afraid of Brock Purdy being Jimmy Garoppolo version 2. So it's yet to play out. If you think about the way, in terms of a strategic way of playing football, getting the ball down the field, moving the chains, keeping the defensive side of the ball of the other team on the field, tiring them out, I think it's great coaching. But yeah, I just wanted to give you some other insights from other content creators, sort of colored with my thoughts that would help you think a little bit more critically or have a little bit more insight into why these arguments are coming up. What is the better way to think about these things, and is one person right and one person wrong? Probably not. It's probably somewhere in the middle. Now, the next video we're going to go to is my man TedH. He's talking about his like and preference for Trey Lance. And now this is a guy that has been to all the training camps. He is just reporting on what he sees. Let's hear what he has to say.
It's just amazing what's going on out there. The things people say, they look at a stat and they think that they can tell us what happened. And it's like, no, dude, I'll tell you. If you want to know, you want to ask, I'll tell you what happened. But, anyone who thinks Sam Darnold's ahead of Trey Lance is out their mind, absolutely out of their mind. And honestly, Lance is still ahead of Purdy, even after today. I gave Purdy the day, but by a slim margin today. So
that's the biggest takeaway is, we went to, like you said, you went to every training camp practice. I missed one, but I guess that's the one that we were like, I guess out of all the ones to miss, that was the one to miss. It was kind of the day where it kind of cute.
All right, let's leave that there. So going back and sort of summing up what I wanted to talk about in this video is that stat lines, it's too many variables to rely on stat lines. The dink and dunk argument, there are two ways to look at that. There is a way that from the fan base, the concern that we're getting Jimmy Garoppolo version 2 and we got burnt. But in reality, as you heard Jack Hammer say, 85% of passes in the NFL are 19 yards and less. And so I guess what Ryan is saying, the dink and dunk thing is more of a philosophy that he does not like. Because of, and he could tweet me back or say something on this video, what he's really trying to articulate. But what I think he's trying to articulate is that the dink and dunk philosophy is not a winning formula. It doesn't win Super Bowls. When you think of the quarterbacks that have won Super Bowls in the last decade, especially thinking about Patrick Mahomes. So that'll bring this video to a close. Thank you everyone for tuning in. I look forward to getting over to Vegas. When I say me, not me, but the team getting over to Vegas. One more training session tomorrow. Then they go to Vegas. Be great to see how they defend Jimmy Garoppolo over there on Allegiant Field. I don't know if they're going to play there, but then we've got the preseason game there on Monday morning our time, Sunday morning US time. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you very much for tuning in, as I said, and have a great day. Thanks, guys.